Hi, guys. Welcome to the Soul on Fire show. I am so excited to talk about today's episode because today's episode, we're going to talk about soul growth and soul expansion and understanding the journey of your soul and understanding how to connect to the energy of expansion and move from contraction into expansion, releasing old identities, releasing old lives, releasing old things that are holding you back from becoming the greatest version of you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here on the live. Thank you so much for being on the replay as well. I am Noelle Agape. I'm a leading expert in health, wellness, and consciousness. I'm an NLP trainer and a quantum energy trainer as well. And today we're going to go deep into the quantum fields. We're going to talk about the soul's journey through the quantum fields and how that looks and how it shows up in your life, and the expansion energy, which is my favorite energy in the entire world. I had a conversation this week with someone about contraction and expansion energy and understanding how that when I am, because I do this work for so long, right? I've been doing this work for 20 years and basically working in the emotional body, for 20 years in different roles. And we'll talk about that throughout the show, is understanding that through your soul's growth, you actually have different identities that you attach to and different lives that you attach to. And it's like a chapter in a book. But sometimes there's not just chapters in the book. Sometimes it's an actual brand new book that life is like expanding you beyond your old life, and what that looks like and how detachment and attachment play a role in your soul's journey. So stay tuned, guys. We are going to have a beautiful, beautiful show. Today is Wednesday and we teach on Wednesday. And today I'm solo because I really wanted to go into this because this is my pocket, right? The quantum is my pocket. I understand this. I understand the soul's growth. I understand expansion. Now, the first thing I want to say about your soul's journey is that one, that we are all energy, and energy is constantly in motion, right? We are, and when our emotions in our different bodies, right? The physical body, the mental body, the physical body, the mental body, the energetic body, and the emotional body. Sorry, I paused for a second. I had a brain freeze. And so with that being said, through the different bodies that we embody, the physical body is this embodiment in the human embodiment. The mental body is your thoughts and your neural pathways, and your emotional body is your heart space and your emotional and that you journey through. And then the energetic body is your chakra system, your aura, your energetic fields around your body, right? Today we're going to talk about the soul, which is beyond that, right? So this soul is a spiritual body, and this is your connection to God, source, and the universe. And it is such a beautiful gift. And those that know me well know that this is, it is me and God first. Like it's me and God, my kids, and my boyfriend and my business, right? They kind of go hand in hand, depending on the week. Just joking. And so with that being said, your soul's journey is here to expand, right? And so when you understand that your soul is God in you, and I'm going to say that again, your soul is God in you, and it is this beautiful gift. It is a beautiful gift of you and your connection to God and human embodiment. And God comes through us and brings the energy out into the world to actually increase, expansion in humanity, increase in expansion in the universe. And so what we're going to talk about today is specifically soul contracts and sacred contracts, your karma, your dharma, moving from your sacred place, your sacred journey onto your sacred journey. And what your sacred journey looks like as far as identity and authenticity. And last week we went deeply into authenticity and what that looked like. And this week we're going to talk about when you're not living from your soul. Now, the show is called Soul on Fire, right? And so I have cultivated a life that is truly a life of travel, a life of adventure, a life of love, a life of passion. I embody all of the sentences, right? I really, really, really understand how to navigate through the different bodies. So I love and experience life. And when I'm not experiencing life, and when you're not experiencing life at your fullest, that's when you're in contraction energy. And that's when your soul is really pulling you in a different direction, right? So the things that you feel when your soul is not in alignment with your dharma, which is your destiny, right? Your karma, which is your lessons along the way to that destiny. What happens is, in the spiritual realm, God is trying to move from contraction into expansion energy with everyone, right? God is love and God is wisdom, and he's coming through us to bring that out into the world, to humanity. So your soul comes in, and before you actually become in a human embodiment, your soul says, okay, I'm going to learn a lesson on abundance and self-worth, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in, and I'm going to have all of these contracts with all of these different people along the way that are going to teach me my self-worth. They're going to teach me when I'm in my power, when I'm not in my power. And the greatest thing in the world, guys, is that relationships are your biggest trigger and your biggest teacher and your biggest lessons and your biggest loves, right? And so we have the deep connection to others on purpose, because when we are moving through our soul's journey, they actually are helping us. And some of the greatest teachers of our soul are people that rock our world. And they rock our worlds in sometimes in a fantastic way, and sometimes not so much fantastic, right? So, I believe that there's not just one soulmate. I believe that there's different type of soul relationships and soul families that you travel through time with. And your soul family is like that instant knowing where it's like, oh, hey, or that instant connection and that instant bond with somebody, right? Or my relationship with my kids, it's like we it felt like, my boyfriend and I say all the time, I'm like, I feel like we're married for like 50 years, and we've it's a new relationship, but we really truly feel like we're embodied in this journey together for forever. And that's really your soul tribe. And we're going to get to that, right? We're going to get to when the difference between just people that are your lessons in your life, that are teaching your soul contracts and your karma, right? They're healing all the karma of your past, whether you believe it's in past lives or it's past, just a younger version of you, whatever that may be. I know this is a super spiritual channel, so there's different beliefs on this channel. So with that being said, the younger version of you is learning spiritual maturity and moving through the soul's journey of expansion. And how you know whether you're in expansion energy or whether you're in contracted energy, and is how you feel, right? And so people jump in with you. I feel, I call it sliding down the rainbow. People slide down the rainbow with you, and they say, okay, we're going to teach you the lesson of self-worth, because that's where you're going to expand on. You're going to expand in self-worth. You're going to move from hate to love. You're going to move from, anger to forgiveness. And so our entire mission here on this planet is to truly raise our vibration. Our entire mission on this planet is to move from the contracted energy into the expansion space, right? And you can do that in the quantum fields much faster than you can if you don't understand the quantum fields. And so energetically, you can actually move energy really, really fast. And when you're a direct vibrational match to something, whatever it is, good or bad, it shows up in your reality. So the soul contracts that are showing up in your vibratory fields, what's happening is it's your soul agreed to this, right? Your soul agreed to this form of expansion and the lessons that are learning, and right. And soul lessons, whether it's karma, whether it's soul lessons, whatever, religious belief you believe it to be, or soul ties, whatever belief it is that you have, it's really truly, this is who I am, and this is what I need to learn from you, right? And so if somebody triggers you, or you get super angry with somebody, or you were married to somebody, now you're divorced from them, and it's the journey of, what is this teaching me? How am I in contraction? Where do I need to go into expansion? How do I move into expansion? And I'll teach you that, and stay tuned to the end, because I'll show you how to work through your soul contracts and actually work into energetic fields and go into your energy and collapse time and space. And in the neural net pathways, we can change our time dimensions as well, and we can break the soul contracts. So your destiny is your dharma, right? And so your destiny is not just fate, where it's everything is at the hands of God, but your destiny is where you and God co-create together, right? And so that's the difference. Fate is sorry guys, my eyes are itchy. So fate is like what people believe to be fate as is it's kismet, right? And so that is God's source. The universe has an ordained plan, and you're fit into that plan this way. So your destiny is a little bit different than fate, in the sense that, and this is my belief, is that we co-create with the universe. We co-create with God, right? And so we get to choose because God's never going to take away our free will. So we get to choose if we want to stay in the old identity of who we are, meaning the karma. We can live in a karmic loop for a very long time, years, decades. You could live living the same lesson over and over with different people and different circumstances, but the same lesson, right? Oh, I wasn't standing in my worth in this space. Oh, okay. I was insecure in this space. Oh, I was in scarcity in this space, right? And so the core beliefs that you're expanding from, the core emotions that you're expanding from to a higher vibrations are fear, anger, hurt, sadness, guilt, and shame. And your soul feels those at a very, very deep level. When you feel fear at a very deep level, or anger or hurt or sadness or guilt, again, guilt is the lowest vibration, right? That is when your soul is telling you need to move into expansion, right? When you're feeling fear, when you're feeling anger, when you're feeling hurt, when you're feeling insecure, that's when your soul is not expanding beyond the soul lessons. You're staying stuck in that karma, in that karmic loop is what I call it, right? The neural net pathways, it's in NLP, it's called looping. How do we expand into our destiny, which is what we co-create with God, I believe, right? And so your destiny is you making a conscious choice to break those soul contracts, saying, yes, I understand that there's been generations after generations ancestral trauma in this area of my life. Maybe it's financing, maybe it's relationships, whatever it may be. There's also, your childhood, of your belief system from your childhood, how you were raised, how your parents were raised, the family that you grew up in. All of this is coming together. But you don't have to choose your ancestral trauma. You don't have to continue on the journey of your father or your mother. If they chose to live in that space, that was their choice of soul's expansion, right? So the destiny is you co-create your life with God, meaning fear comes up and you say, okay, this is fear of, I'm going to say intimacy, just to throw it out there. Fear of intimacy, fear of commitment, fear of marriage, whatever, fear of, scarcity, whatever it may be. That comes up, and it's coming up over and over and over again in different relationships. And it's your pattern in your life, right? You get to stop and say, wait, this is the trigger that is happening. I'm in fear, and this is how I react and I respond in that. And this is what's showing up in my life because of that. I'm going to actually choose something different because I want to co-create with God. I want to co-create with the universe. This is what I choose. I choose to have abundance. I choose to have a healthy relationship. I choose to live in love and joy and light. And this is one of the hardest journeys in the entire the mission of your soul, is to understand that transmuting the energy is why we are here. Transmuting from contraction to expansion through the energetic fields. It's why you are here. Energy is constantly fluid. It is constantly in motion. It is constantly expanding. If it is not expanding, then that's when it's like you're fully in matter and you're not in wave form. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit, but you can move into wave form and not be fully in matter. And when you understand that in the quantum fields, the matter actually can be dissolved and you can collapse time and space, and it's your belief system around it that you can truly create your reality. And when you understand that it's the electromagnetic fields, right, that creates your reality, your electro is your thoughts, your magnetic fields are your emotions. Your heightened sense of emotion is what's going to create your destiny, what's going to create your soul contracts, whatever you choose to partake in, right? Your destiny is part fate, right? The universe's timing, God's timing, as well as your constant choice on a daily basis that you're working with God to expand, right? And so it's a little bit different than fate, whereas people that believe in fate believe that it's just, everything happens. And it does when you're in perfect alignment with it, right? Whatever you're in perfect alignment with is what shows up in your core reality. So moving to your Dharma, how do you get to your soul's purpose, right? How do you know what is right in your soul and what's not right in your soul? It's very easy. How do you feel, right? Do you feel really good in this space? Do you feel like you're leaning in and it feels yummy and delicious? Or do you feel like you need to lean back and you're like, whoa, I don't like the way this feels at all, right? And so I'm hypersensitive. Those that know me, I am clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairescent, right? I basically all of them. And so I'm hypersensitive, a super empath, and I feel my way through life. When I tell you I feel my way through life, my boyfriend and my kids probably can testify to this, is that every single emotion that I feel is so real and so genuine, but it is not, I don't stay in that space, right? I feel it, I express it, I learn the lesson from it, and then I move on. And when you choose that, right, you choose to raise your vibration on a lower vibration. When I am in alignment, it is, everybody in my orb, it feels love, they feel wisdom, they feel, when I am not in alignment, everybody in my orb, it's so there's a huge polarity in your destiny, right? It's because it will show you. When I am not in alignment, it is a wild horse, and you should probably just let her run free in that moment. But when I am in alignment, it is magical. And that's because I know how to do this, right? I know, oh wow, my soul's learning a lesson right now. I'm in karma right now. I'm not in my destiny. I'm not going towards my destiny, because when moving towards your destiny is always a higher vibration, right? It is always expansion. You're always moving through to get through the contraction. When I'm in contraction, which is really my least favorite energy on the entire planet, I would say the wounded masculine and contracted energy are the least favorite energies that come into my orb, right? And so when somebody's in their wounded masculine, or even their wounded feminine for that matter, and they're not in their divine essence, I feel it, right? I really, really feel it. And the reason why I'm talking so deeply about feelings, guys, is because your soul feels through your heart. It teaches you through your heart. This feels right now. Oh, this feels so good right now. This does not feel right now, right? You're allowed to say no when it doesn't feel right. And that's the thing, is that with karma, you don't have to stay in the karmic spaces. You don't have to stay in the karmic relationships. You don't have to stay in the identity of who you were as a person. Moving into your dharma means moving into from your zone of excellence to your zone of genius, and we'll talk about that just a little bit. Your zone of excellence is something that you're really, really good at, and it's done you really well in life, and it's served its purpose, karma. But your zone of excellence is moving into your destiny, your purpose here on earth. And so bringing all of that expansion back out to the earth is so powerful. So it is our job to move through the karmic lessons, right, to get to the dharma and the destiny. And so the relationship aspect of it, whether it is an intimate relationship, whether it's a child relationship, whether it's a business partnership, whether it is Bob down the street, whatever the reaction is coming up, that's the lesson behind it. I'm in fear right now. I have fear of intimacy. Well, oh, I'm afraid to be married, right? And you go into that. Why am I afraid to be married? Is my story was men hurt or leave. And so I had to work through all of these karmic lessons of men hurt or leave before I actually got to my destiny, where it was like, men don't hurt or leave. Men are beautiful. And men are amazing and wonderful. I love the divine masculine, but the wounded masculine hurts or leaves, right? And so I am super hypersensitive when people are in their wounded masculine, because that was my soul lesson, right? And so if that wasn't your soul lesson, you wouldn't be super hypersensitive to that, right? So with me, it was my belief system based on my abusive past and my childhood, and all of the the family ties that allowed me to have those karmic bonds with people, which were beautiful and wonderful and incredible lessons that moved me to my destiny. But the hypersensitive part of you will always be your destiny, meaning that my favorite energy in the entire world to play in is the divine feminine energies. I love beauty. I love intuition. I love playfulness. I love to be free. I'm really a gypsy soul. I really am. And I love to be feminine. I love to be in my feminine embodiment, right? And throughout my journey, I was in the wounded feminine, so I was attracting the wounded masculine energies, right? So in these karmic relationships, I was dancing back and forth with the wounded masculine and the wounded feminine. And so now I'm so hypersensitive when somebody's in their wounded masculine. And because it triggers me to be in my wounded feminine. That is my destiny right there. That's the pocket of finding your destiny, because you're like, oh, wait, so I'm super hypersensitive when I'm in my wounded, when somebody triggers my wounded feminine because they're in their wounded masculine. I don't like that. I'm going to make a different choice. What's the choice here? I'm going to rise above. I'm going to actually tell them that I'm angry with them. I'm going to tell them that I was upset. I'm going to work on my emotions, and then I'm going to move to a different space. And if, and I'm going to put up a boundary. And so your destiny and your karma always, your karma teaches you your boundaries, right? Your karma says, no, that's not going to fly for me. No, that's not going to work for me. Yeah, this actually works for me, right? So it is so important to understand that your soul contracts are just the lessons along your karmic journey, and your sacred contract is your destiny, and that's your purpose here on the planet, to bring everything out into the world. And so we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about identity. We're going to talk about how leaving your old identity throughout the soul's expansion journey looks like, and how it is super hard for your unconscious and your subconscious to let go of an identity, because you're completely attached to your soul's contracts, not your sacred contract. And so we will be right back, guys. Stay tuned. We're going deep into the soul's lessons and soul expansion today. We'll be right back. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Soul on Fire show. I am Noelle Agape. I'm a leading expert in health, wellness, and consciousness. I'm an NLP trainer, and I'm a quantum energy trainer as well. Today, we're talking about expansion through the soul's journey and what that looks like, and how that shows up as lessons in your life, in your emotional body, your physical body, your mental body, and your energetic body, and moving to your spiritual body. So your soul's journey is such a beautiful gift, because when you are moving into your destiny, that's expansion energy, right? That is why you're here. It is the entire purpose that you came into this planet. You jumped in and you said, I'm going to learn all these lessons on self-worth, relationships, whatever it may be. I'm going to move through the soul contracts and move into my sacred contract of my destiny and my purpose here on the planet. So with that being said, there's a lot of times that so many times you get stuck in an identity, and this is a karmic loop that you get stuck in, right? A karmic loop is something where you're not learning the lesson and you're not moving into expansion, and you keep coming up against the same wall over and over again. And most often what people don't understand is that it's almost always they're in their neural net pathways, the looping of an old identity. And so what I want to talk about is moving into the identity of your soul's purpose and what that looks like, and how to live from your soul, how to expand from contracted energy into expansion into your destiny. So what it takes is awareness, right? Spiritual maturity. You can understand emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is saying, oh, wow, I was in anger and fear and hurt, and this is triggering me right now. This is my soul contracts that I'm going to move into my destiny. Spiritual maturity is actually taking action and accountability for you, your behavior, and expansion as well. And so it is your responsibility to expand. I'm going to say that again. It is your responsibility to expand. And I promise you, God, source, and the universe will show you over and over and over again, with different lessons and different people, different circumstances. If you are not in expansion energy, it will show you where you are in contracted energy. So that's the emotional body. Your emotions are here to teach you. It is our guidance system. It is really not as complex as, all of the quantum education that I have and all the psychology education that I have. Really, it's truly just basically, how do you feel? If you feel like it doesn't feel good, and then that, and you're in contracted energy, which means you're in your karma, you're in your soul contracts, you're moving through the lesson. But if it feels fantastic and expansive and you're moving through your soul, that's your destiny, right? And that's what you're supposed to bring out into the world. So let's talk about identity and what that looks like in the quantum fields. So there's, first of all, we live in an infinite universe, and there's an infinite amount of without question, and this is controversial, but very, very true, is there's an infinite amount of versions of you. And I laugh because really truly like my boyfriend and my kids know that there's an infinite amount of versions of me, right? Because they never know what they're going to get on a daily basis. Some minutes they're going to get the unicorn, some minutes they're going to not get the unicorn. And so there is a version of you always waiting to expand, because that is it's just your soul. Your soul is just expanding, and your soul has already moved on, right? Your soul's already there. It's waiting for you to be in the better version of you that is an infinite amount of possibilities that you can be. How do you do that? How do you move into your soul's purpose? How do you move into a different identity, right? It's understanding change, understanding growth, understanding and letting go of the patterns, the belief systems, your thoughts become patterns, your patterns become beliefs, and your beliefs become reality. But your current reality is your past thoughts, patterns, and beliefs. So the only way that you can change into your destiny and move into your destiny is to making conscious daily choices and being very present. That is the key to your soul's purpose, is being present within your body at this, present with people, present with connections, present with what's showing up in your life, having an awareness from that space. Oh, this is showing up. I'm curious. How's this going to play out? Right. And when you come from a place of curiosity and awareness, that's moving you into expansion. And that's like, I just got chills down my spine, because that is when your soul gets set on fire, when it's like, I'm going to see how this plays out. What's this teaching me? What's this showing me? How am I going to move into my destiny? I'm done with this lesson. I understand that. I mean, I've spent a lot of time, in the wounded feminine and the wounded masculine energies, right? And those that know me, I've only had a couple of very serious relationships in my life, but our lessons were moving through the wounded feminine and the wounded masculine. Again, I was in the wounded feminine and they were in the wounded masculine, or I was in the wounded masculine, they were in the wounded feminine. We all have both in us. It's not a he, she thing. But now I'm in a relationship of spiritual maturity, and it's a very different space where we communicate with each other, right? Just about an hour and a half ago, I was like, I'm very angry with you, and I expressed why I was angry, but I was feeling anger all morning over it, and I was ruminating, and then finally I just stopped and I said, okay, I actually need to have a conversation with him, but what is it showing me? What is it teaching me? Right. And it was really just, it was very, very silly, but it was something that was a trigger to me that I just needed to address. And the second that I addressed it, it was like, oh, okay, that's gone. I don't need to focus on that anymore. I don't need to be in that space anymore. Right. And that's the difference, is spiritual maturity. And so now I get to choose the opposite. Oh, okay. I absolutely love the divine masculine. Like, the divine masculine energy is the most sexy energy in the entire world to me, right? I love being in my divine feminine, and the divine masculine energy is the sexiest energy in the entire world. The wounded masculine energies are not. There was a time where I had an identity, right? Where I was a tomboy, and I was five sports, and I was a guy's girl, and I wasn't really in my feminine energy. I was more in my masculine energy, and I was connected to the tomboy girl, the boys girl, right? I was connected to that, the really cool girl. That I still do really cool stuff, but I'm a lot more feminine than I've ever been. But even more so, I want to talk about identity, not just in relationships, right? Because I really was in a very masculine role a lot in my relationships. Like and there was times where I was in my masculine, and I was with somebody else, and they were fighting for the masculine role, right? Because I was trying to be in my power. But what I didn't understand is that, the divine feminine is the most powerful energies in the universe. And so when I embodied that, my relationships shifted. But the identity of, and here's the journey, right? I was, one person before I got married, and then I got married, and then I was another person, and then now I'm divorced and I'm another person. Throughout the chapters of your life, the universe, God sources universe is asking you to move into your destiny. To move into your destiny, you actually have to let go of your old identities, right? I was a counselor that moved into, I was like literally working in therapeutic counseling and healing trauma, emotional trauma, and moved from there into being a health and wellness counselor, and from a health and wellness counselor to an NLP trainer, from an NLP trainer to a quantum energy trainer to a TV host, and running crazy ass adventure retreats around the world, right? So I had to embody all of these different things. I had to go to be a counselor. I had to go to grad school, and when I went to grad school, I learned how to be a counselor, right? I learned how to be Noelle the counselor. I was very therapeutic role. It was the role that I was playing. Then I learned how to go into health and wellness, right? When my mom got sick. And that's when I started to really be into nutrition and the body and exercise. And then I went into NLP, which is neural net pathways and understanding the brain and the kinesiology of the brain and the body and the chemistry and the biochemistry of the body. So I had to embody all of these different roles along the way. Now I'm a quantum energy trainer, and I talk about the quantum, right? But not even just that. Now I'm also a TV host, and I run crazy adventure therapy retreats around the world. Each of those were expansion. When I tell you that each version of myself had to have an individual death, and everyone's like, wait, you had a death? Yeah, actually, you had a death of identity, a death of the soul contracts, a death of the karma, a death of things that are no longer serving you in your life. And I truly believe that we have a death every single day, and we wake up and we are embodied into a new, beautiful awakening, and we could every single day change our destiny. But moving from one destiny to another, well, mostly moving from your soul contracts to your destiny, you have to embody a daily expansion practice. You have to move into the energy of, now I'm a TV host and I run adventure retreats around the world, and I had to move into that. But my subconscious and unconscious mind and my energetic fields and my soul contracts, the lessons that I was learning along the way, weren't letting me move with ease and grace and joy, because now I know how to collapse time and space and move the energy and do it and I move I move at God's speed. Something hits me and I'm like, oh, okay, that's what that is. And then like people are like, Noelle, how are you so healed from that? That was like literally an hour ago. I move at God's speed because that's my choice to move into my destiny as fast as I possibly can in this human embodiment. But most people that are fixed, what happens is they are more attached. And when you have an attachment energy to anything, whether it's your past, your marriage, your relationship, your job, anything that you have an attachment to, you will be in contracted energy. Anything you have an attachment to, your old life, your old identity, your old lessons, right? Your subconscious wants to keep you safe. So it feels that it's keeping you safe in that fear, anger, hurt, sadness, guilt, or shame. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I'm not safe, secure, and protected. I'm not lovable. I'm not whole and complete. That's what your unconscious mind is telling you through this entire process, right? And they're like, no, you can't grow, because if you grow, that's something different. That's the unknown. We don't know what the unknown is. For me, I jump off cliffs for a living. I love the unknown, right? It's like, hell yeah, let's go. I happen to be in a family and in a relationship with very different people, right? One of my children is she loves safety, security, but both of my kids are adventurous and both of my kids love change. But one of them adapts a little easier than the other, right? And not in a bad way, just they just need a more understanding of what's to come, right? They like to know what's to come. And the other, is a little bit more of a free spirit, like myself. I am with somebody that absolutely likes the next step, but works and trudges to the next step, right? He believes in incremental, not monumental progress. That's his statement, right? That he says all the time. Mine, I jump out of literally jump out of an airplane without a parachute 90% of my life. So change and identity is going to be fine for me. I'm going to be like, okay, I'll just change my identity tomorrow, right? And for him, he's like, wait, no, it has to take step by step. It's, so you have to understand you as a whole. You have to understand, like, when I'm dealing with my kids, both of them love to explore the earth and love to explore life. And, they have different ways of moving through different identities and different change in their life. My boyfriend has a completely different, polar opposite way of doing life than I do. Yet you have to understand that the identity of someone or you has to have a death. And that's when you have to face your fear of death, right? Is when you're moving to a next stage of your life, because whether it's a marriage, whether it's a divorce, whether it is a new job, whether it is a new body, whether it is whatever it is that you're changing into, your unconscious and subconscious are in attachment energy. And it is your job to do that on a daily, do the work, like do the soul work, learn your soul lessons, move into your destiny, move into your karma, right? To understand that your identity is not who you are. You're not your body. You're not your mind. You're not your emotions, right? You can change in a minute. There's an infinite amount of possibilities that can happen. I will admit that I get stuck often when I don't feel secure or safe, right? That's my trigger. And so you have to find your emotional triggers along the way with your identity, and it'll teach you your soul contracts, and then it'll get you to your sacred contract, which is your destiny. And so when you understand this concept of your identity is not real, it's what your stories that you've created in your mind. I was a counselor. Now I'm a TV host, right? But my subconscious had to understand, and I had to embody becoming a TV host. I had to, before I could have a complete success and have a quantum leap into the energy of who I was, I had to be a complete vibrational match to that first, right? So what is coming up is the resistance. When you can't do quantum leaps and you can't move through into a different identity, that's your soul contracts. And the lesson that you need to learn is the resistance. What's going on? Is this not teaching? I am worthy enough to be a TV host. I'm worthy enough to travel the world. And I am not going to listen to anybody else, right? And so at 51 years old, I've just made a conscious choice that I'm going to do whatever the hell I want in my life, as long as it's not hurting anyone. It's I don't care what people say, and whatever people say about me is none of my business, honestly, because I'm just going to live my life free. Yet I wasn't always like that, guys. I was very, very constricted. I did everything right. I did everything by the book. I married the right person. I went to the right school. I, had the right amount of kids. I did everything right until it wasn't right in my soul, right? Then I started to become a different person. And there was a lot of resistance in the people around me when I started to change my identity, because those, again, soul contracts of teaching you that they were teaching you and you were teaching them to grow, and they might not be ready for your growth, or they might not be ready to grow, right? And when that happens, that's when you go into contraction energy. Is that when you listen to the people around you, when your identity is changing, or your life is changing, or you're divorced, you're married, your body's changing, whatever is changing, and there's resistance to the change, that is because either you're not in alignment, or you're allowing the people that are in your life to not allow you to be in alignment because you're listening to them, right? One of the things I teach my teenagers more than anything in the entire world is to be you, regardless of, like, just show up authentically as you, whatever it takes, just show up as you. Constantly, until you are a vibrational match, until it feels good. If something is pulling at your soul, right? I am telling you for years, guys, travel isn't, those that know me, travel on my soul. If I'm exercise and travel, right? Put me on a plane or get me in nature exercising, and I'm in a good mood, right? I've always loved to travel, but I resisted that I could actually make a living at travel. I resisted that I could make a living as a TV host because you had to be famous, right? And I had so much resistance because I was like, no, I went to grad school for this. I have to be this. I have to do this. That the people around me didn't really, there was a lot of resistance, moving to a different place, moving to a different relationship. There was different resistances that I had to deal with my kids, growing to a different person. My kids and I are so golden right now and so dialed in that we communicate about everything, like everything, right? And knowing where they are and knowing, we're all three of us are in a space of expansion right now. We're moving to different places. We're moving to a different stage of our life. And it's challenging in your family, right? When things stay the same, it's very, very comfortable for you, right? And so when you understand breaking through that barrier of the comfort zone, which is your soul contracts, and moving into your dharma, which is your destiny, and your sacred contract, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to face your fears, every fear you've ever had. You have to face adversity. You have to face whatever it is that is coming up. You have to face people that are not ready for your change. You have to face being not ready for your change, because your embodiment of your new identity is always a new step along the way to your destiny. Your destiny, and here's the coolest thing, guys, is that you don't just show up one day and say, oh, I'm in my destiny. That's it. I'm in my purpose. Your purpose is, as long as you're in human embodiment, your purpose is to continually expand, always. So right now I'm a TV host and I run adventure therapy retreats around the world. Who knows what I'm going to be in 5 years from now? I am hoping I'm going to be married. I'm hoping that I'm going to be a wife, right? Which is a role that I haven't played in a very long time. And understanding that like I have to recreate an identity for that. I have to create the energy, and I have to move into the energy, and I have to connect to the energy of being a wife or being with someone else, or, being not with someone else. I meant like with someone in my life, having someone else in my life. Change is hard. Identity is fake, right? But change doesn't have to be hard if you embrace it. Wow, I wonder what I look like as a wife. I wonder what, and I do this always. I mean, God bless my boyfriend, but we're not there yet, but like he already knows what my wedding's going to look like because I visualize that every single day. I'm like, okay, I know exactly I know what my ring looks like. I know what my dress looks like. I knew what I looked like as a TV host, right? I embodied a new version of me, right? Sometimes I'm dark hair, sometimes I'm light hair. I have a different identity when I have dark hair than I do light hair. And you get to play. You get to play in the space of, this is my destiny. I'm going to be curious. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to move into, what does that look like? What does that feel like? Oh my gosh. What is that even like? So your identity, you get to create its creation energy. And so is your destiny. We're going to take another quick break, guys, and then I'm going to give you key takeaways to soul expansion and how to move into soul expansion, moving from challenges of your old identity into your new identity, which is your destiny, and moving from karma to dharma, which is your soul's purpose. We will be right back, guys. Hi, guys. Welcome back. Thank you so much for being on the Soul on Fire show. Today, we're talking about your soul's expansion and moving to your soul's journey and understanding how to move from contracted energy into expansion energy, moving from your soul contracts and into your sacred contracts, which is your destiny. If you want to learn more about all of this, go to noelleagape.com. It's linked right there. I have tons of courses on, I think I have like 6 courses on this stuff that you can learn about. And If you want to share or like or spread this out to the world, we want to help as many people as we possibly can in expansion energy. So thank you for being here, guys. I am so excited to now give you key takeaways of how to actually move into, from your soul's lessons, your karma, into your dharma, which is your sacred contract and your destiny, right? So your sacred contract is your purpose that you're supposed to bring out to this world. Now, here's the big thing, guys, is that I explained in the last segment, I have a lot of different identities that I've had over time. I am not locked into, now I'm a TV host and now I'm, running adventure therapy retreats. I love it. It's so much fun and I will do it as long as my soul says yes to it. And here's the thing, guys, is that I'm not a counselor. I am not a therapist. I am not a quantum energy trainer. I am not a health and wellness counselor. I'm not an NLP trainer. I'm not a TV host. I am here to bring love and wisdom out into the world. And so here's the hack with your soul's purpose is, I know I'm supposed to bring love and wisdom out to the world, right? I'm supposed to merge science and spirituality and do that in a sense that is fun. And, God doesn't need to be so serious. I believe that with my soul. And that's who I am. And I have embodied love and wisdom. I have embodied every ounce of understanding science and spirituality and connecting to that. And that is who I am, right? I am love. I am wisdom. And that's my I am. It's not, I'm a TV host or I'm a quantum energy trainer. I am love and wisdom. It means that if God has something for me to expand beyond being a TV host tomorrow, I'm open to doing that, right? I'm open to receiving my destiny. I'm open to receiving God's source, the universe that comes through me. I'm open to understanding that when I'm in contraction energy, it's just teaching me to expand. And so I truly live my life. I mean, when I tell you I live and embody this, I eat, breathe, and sleep the quantum. I wake up and I, literally set my intentions, but I segment intent every single day. Oh my God, I love my boyfriend so much. I'm so grateful for him. I'm not going to say his name. Not yet. I'm so grateful for him. I'm so grateful for my kids. I'm so grateful for my home. What a beautiful day. We're going to Salt Lake City tomorrow. Oh my gosh, our trip to Salt Lake City is so beautiful. It's so incredible. I love this person. I'm so grateful to learn from his success and just moving into segment intending. And what I do with segment intending is I truly embody it. Wow, how am I going to show up in Salt Lake City? How am I going to show up with my boyfriend? How am I going to show up with my kids today? Right. And I set my day to move into my destiny. Okay, God, thank you so much for all of the lessons the last couple of days. Thank you so much for all of the lessons, through this, and through this, and through this, through, the lessons through my divorce, the lessons through all of it. Thank you for those lessons because that has moved me into my destiny. Now I get to, oh my gosh, I'm going to live in gratitude. I'm going to live in love. I'm going to live in light. I'm so grateful. Wow, what a beauty, it's so fun. We're going to have so much fun on the ATVs. We're going to go ziplining. We're going to do all these crazy things. We're going bouldering. We actually are. And we're going to have so much fun in Salt Lake City. And we're going to masterminds and we're going to fundraisers. We're going to help so many kids. I'm so grateful that we're going to help so many kids. I do this every single day for an hour. Then I wake up and I journal, right? And I have a word every day. Some days it's love, some days it's wisdom, some days it's gratitude, right? And I move into that word. And I say, I want to embody this word today. I want to embody love today. How can I embody love today? How can I embody understanding today? How can I embody compassion today? What lesson came up yesterday that I need to embody today, right? See how you're asking your soul's questions. When you're asking your soul's questions, guys, you're going to receive the answers and signs, synchronicities, emotions, other people's, God talks through it. God doesn't talk to you and says, Noelle, go do this, right? God says, hey, here's 222, here's 333, here's 444. Oh, here's that song over and over and over again. Oh, that person called you during that song. Oh, you're supposed to, that is the journey. The journey of the soul expansion is to find joy, find love, raise the vibration from whatever the soul contracts are to a higher vibration, which is the sacred contracts, which is your destiny. Your destiny is always at a higher vibration. I'm going to say that again. Your destiny is always at a higher vibration. If you are in contracted energy, if you are in your past energy, if you're in your karmic energy, you cannot get to your destiny. It's just that simple. If you are in your past, you can't move into your future. It's two different energies. You have to truly embody the identity of the new version of you and be in a vibrational match to that before it actually shows up in your reality. We live in an infinite universe that is an infinite field of possibilities. You get to do your life the way you want to do your life. You get to move through the lessons and learn from the lessons. And the second that you guys understand that the lessons, as hard as they may be, as emotional as they may be, are just as good as the destiny, just as good as the desire, just as good as the manifestation, just as good as the wish. The lessons are your road to get there. And when you know that, it's not like, and when you know that your work is never done because you're in human embodiment, right? Until you are no longer in human embodiment and you've moved on to whatever that may be after you die, you get to learn, you get to grow, you get to expand, you get to move from contracted energy into expanded energy through your soul. One of the things that I do best on top of love and wisdom is I embrace life. I feel my way through life. Sometimes it's hard because I'm super empath and I feel everything. But when you learn to navigate your soul, I know my soul. My soul is, I can tell you from the depth of my soul, my children are my favorite people on this planet. They are my soul family, your soul tribe. And that's what the final key takeaway I want to talk about is your soul tribe. These are your people, right? These are your lifetimes, the season, reasons, and lifetimes. The seasons are these beautiful expressions of life that just bring you joy. Sometimes they raise your vibration. The reasons mostly are your soul contracts to get to the karmic lessons, right? Your lifetimes, those are your people, right? Those are your peeps. So when I tell you I met my boyfriend and we had one conversation, and then we had another, and we had another. And then the first time we actually were in physical presence with each other, we literally were like, I think we've known each other for like 50 years. Like we feel like we're married for 50 years. Like he is, whether we wind up getting married or not, he's my soul family. Like it's instantaneous. This man is my tribe, right? And we have so much love and compassion for each other and respect and honor for each other that even if we didn't wind up together as a couple, which I hope we do, God willing we will, it is this beautiful love, right? When you have that deep soul love for someone, those are your peeps. Keep them around, right? The ones, but here's the thing. When you have attachment to your old versions of you and you're not moving towards your destiny, you're really not going to let in your soul tribe. Your soul tribe can't get to you until you let go of the karmic. It's a big, big, big concept. You can't get to your destiny. You can't get to your soul tribe. You can't get to your soul mates that are your lifetimes until you move through the karmic lessons. Some of them, like your kids or others, are going to be lifetimes automatically, right? But others, when you know, you know. And then there's people where you're like, you need to get the hell out of my life. Like, not in a bad way, but no, thank you, right? And those are your people that are not coming with you, and just be okay with, I love you and I thank you for the soul lessons and I'm good, right? And separation and detachment and living in detachment, embracing life, knowing that your soul is here to expand. What brings me joy is my kids, my boyfriend, travel, adventure. It sets my soul on fire. So I'm going to ask you this question, and it's incredibly important. It's not cliche. What sets your soul on fire? What does that look like? What does that feel like? Who do you want to embody? What is that? Who is the next version of you? What do you want to bring out to the world? And that's the next and final piece is, I have mastered this and I feel this is my pocket and these are my people and I want to bring this out to the world with my people, right? There has been beautiful, beautiful lessons in my life. And I've only had a few relationships, but they have been beautiful lessons along my soul's journey. But they were not my lifetime. My lifetime is here to share my purpose with me, right? You will know your lifetimes because you will have very similar soul alignment, right? You will have similar interests. You will probably know similar people. It will just feel good. Along the journey of your soul, there might be moments that you're in contracted energy and it won't feel so good. But if it feels good more than it feels bad, and it just feels right, and there's an inner knowing within your soul, that is your soul tribe. And your soul tribe will help you with your destiny. And this is the biggest thing that I can teach you guys, is that you cannot do your destiny alone. You're not meant to live your destiny alone. You're meant to have a tribe. You're meant to live in a community. You're meant to be with your soul people, your lifetimes. And when you find your lifetimes, you will know. And it is the greatest gift in the entire world, because they will support you. They will love you. They will guide you to the next step of your life. They will call you out, and they will also teach you too, right? It's not always rainbows and unicorns. They will push you to be the greatest version of you, because they will see you and they will see your soul, and they'll remember your soul is love and light, and they will move you towards that. And they will not let you live in the wounded masculine or wounded feminine. They will push you to be out of that. They will push you to be out of that, and they will be by your side through the entire thing. And that's the thing, guys, is that the difference is your karmics are your old identity, but they're just lessons. Your destiny and your dharma are your lifetimes, and they will know every identity that you have is part of you. And they will come on that journey with you, and they will embody you, and they will love and honor you for you in your truth, in your authenticity, in your gifts, and they will empower you to be your best. Find your soul tribe, because it is the greatest, greatest, greatest journey in the entire world. When you are dancing and sliding down the rainbow with people, that is soul tribe. I love you guys from my soul. If you need more support, please do go to noelleagape.com. I will link that right there. Go to noelleagape.com. Again, I have free activations. I have we have adventure therapy retreats around the world. We do so many things to connect you to your soul, and it is such a beautiful gift when you and your soul are dancing, and you are dancing with God and the universe, and you are completely embodied in moving into your destiny, letting go of attachment. You're living your life from your soul and what brings you joy. What sets your soul on fire and what brings you joy. Find that, and find the people that support that. And that's your pocket. I love you guys so, so much. You are more powerful than you ever know. All of the power is within you. God is within you. And every single day, he's waiting to come through you. He's waiting to break through that expansion. He's waiting for you to move into, to break through the contraction, waiting for you to move into expansion, and waiting for your purpose and your destiny to come out to the world, because everybody has a gift to bring to the world. Nobody is you. You are a snowflake in this universe, and you get to bring your gifts to the world. You get to set your soul on fire, and you get to live from your soul. You are more powerful than you'll ever know. All of the power is within you. Live from your soul, ignite your soul, and set your soul on fire. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.